Have you ever wondered why, despite everything you've achieved, something still feels missing? You got the job, you fell in love, you bought the car, the shoes, the phone, the dream, and yet, there it is. That dull emptiness at the edges when the noise quiets down. A heaviness, not sadness exactly, just absence. Like happiness left the party and somehow forgot to come back for you. What if I told you that what you're chasing isn't what you're missing? What if happiness isn't a goal to reach, but a skill to relearn? We've been sold a story, a beautifully marketed lie, that happiness lives in more money, more validation, more attention, more everything. But every time you arrive at more, the finish line moves, and suddenly you're out of breath, but even further from joy. This isn't failure, it's physics, because happiness doesn't exist in things, it exists in you, but only when you're trained to see it. Part 1, the mind is the master. Why happiness is an inner skill. In the 7th century, Buddhist monk Shantideva wrote, "If you wish to be truly happy, protect your mind and nothing else." Centuries later, neuroscience finally caught up. They discovered the same truth, that happiness doesn't come from what happens to us, but from how our minds frame it. Two people can live the same day, face the same pain, and walk away with entirely different experiences. Why? Because one has trained their mind, and the other hasn't. External conditions, wealth, beauty, status, can only go so far. Without a peaceful mind, none of it brings joy. Anger, envy, greed. These aren't just bad vibes. They're neurochemical poisons crudely disguised as normal behavior. They burn your insides and then blame life for the smoke. Part 2, the dangerous illusion of more. Let's talk about a word no one warns you about. Greed, not in the Wall Street sense. I'm talking about the quiet greed of comparison, the greed of believing your life would finally be good once you had what they have. And yet, even when you get it, it's not enough. Why? Because excessive desire is an amplifier of emptiness. Desire isn't evil, it's human. But without contentment as its balance, it becomes a parasite we keep feeding. The irony? The happiest people often desire less, not more. Real contentment is radical. It says, I could reach for the stars, but maybe I already have the sky. Part 3, brain rewiring and the science of joy. Think joy is about luck? Genetics? Let's talk brain plasticity. The brain isn't a rock, it's a river, always moving, always reshapeable. Neuroscience tells us that what we practice, we become. Practice patience, you become patient. Practice gratitude, you feel grateful. Practice outrage, you live outraged. So what would happen if you practiced happiness? If, instead of waiting for life to make you feel good, you trained your brain to feel good about life? That's not delusion. That's neuroplasticity in action. And you are holding the chisel. Part 4, compassion, the human shortcut to joy. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. The Dalai Lama. Most people think happiness is solitary, that it depends on what happens to you. But some of the strongest evidence, Eastern and Western, shows that happiness thrives when it moves through you. That's the paradox. The more you think only of yourself, the heavier life feels. But when you widen your gaze, when your problems become smaller in the presence of someone else's pain, you start to feel lighter. Because compassion is a perspective expander. It reminds you that your pain is real, but it is not the only pain. And that changes everything. Story interlude, meet Jonah, burned out at work, lonely in a crowd, nothing excited him anymore. His therapist didn't prescribe meds. She asked him to volunteer. He didn't expect much, but within weeks, something shifted. It wasn't the act of serving lunch at the shelter. It was the moment he felt seen by someone with less, and yet more aliveness than he had felt in months. That was the day Jonah remembered. That connection is the currency of joy. Part 5, transforming suffering. From enemy to teacher, pain is part of the human contract, but suffering is often signed by us. We replay memories like broken records. We place ourselves at the center of someone else's mistake. We nurse guilt or resentment like pets we secretly hate. But suffering, when seen differently, can be used differently. What if adversity wasn't a failure of life, but its most honest teacher? What if enemies weren't just threats, but opportunities to train patience and resilience? In Buddhism, there's a practice called Tonglen, giving and receiving. You imagine breathing in the suffering of others and breathing out your own strength. Crazy? Maybe. But studies show it significantly increases resilience, compassion, and emotional regulation, because it transforms pain into connection. And connection, as you've heard, leads back to joy. Part 6. Inner transformation, the long, defiant climb. Lasting happiness is not a motivational poster. It's a long, often lonely climb up a staircase made of self-awareness, discipline, and heartbreakingly honest self-confrontation. But it's also anchored in this incredible truth. Negative emotions are not intrinsic to the mind. They were learned, and they can be unlearned. With education, conviction, effort, and practice, you can train your mind away from anger, envy, fear, and walk toward joy, kindness, and peace. It's a process, not a pill, not a quote, not a hack, but a process. And you are capable of every step. Part 7. A new definition of spirituality. Forget robes or rules. Strip away dogma and division, and what you're left with is basic human spirituality. Kindness, compassion, honesty, mindfulness, a willingness to live with integrity and love. Real spiritual practice is not something you turn on in a temple. It's how you treat the grocery cashier. It's how you breathe when you're late. It's how you speak to yourself when you're breaking. If you can practice centered awareness through your chaos, you don't need to find joy. Joy finds you. Final reflection. Happiness isn't found. Happiness isn't given. Happiness is built, inside out. It is not a reward from life. It is your relationship with life. From the storm clouds of suffering, to the sunrises in moments of compassion, to the spotlight of awareness cast on your flaws, and the courage to still love yourself. That's the art of lasting joy. Not perfect, not constant, but real. And it starts today. Not when you get the job, not when you find the one, not when everything is calm. It starts when you decide, my mind is my garden, and I'm ready to grow joy. You are the space where happiness grows. Subscribe for more insights and the tools to live them.